You want to create, but right now life is taking up all the room. Work, caregiving, whatever hard thing you're in the middle of. So this isn't about finding more time. It's about what's actually possible in the pockets of time that you do have. So today I'm talking about 3 ways to create when life takes over. 1 for 0 decision time, 1 for 5 minutes at a time, and 1 for when your brain has nothing left to give, a blank page. By the end, you'll know exactly which one fits you. My first suggestion for ways to create when life gets hectic are the weekly assignments. The first option is for when you have 0 time to sit and figure out what to make. You don't want to think, you don't want to plan, you just want to be told, go find these things. This is what my weekly assignments are for. Every week, I post a new assignment with 5 prompts, 5 things to go find. You go hunting through your papers or through your day to look for things that match. You gather them and then you collage with whatever you have found. Here's the part that I really want you to hear. The hunting is the creative part. You don't have to be sitting at your desk with scissors in hand to be doing this. You can be standing in line, sitting in a waiting room, half watching TV, and your brain is quietly working on, where am I going to find something blue? That counts. That is creativity happening, even when your hands are empty. And if you get stuck on one of the 5, and that happens to lots of people, there's always a bonus prompt you can swap instead. So you're never stuck waiting on one impossible piece. So for example, let's look at this assignment. An animal, a text in a foreign language, handwriting, a postage stamp, something round, and the bonus is a label. If I asked you to go find those things represented in paper, could you do that? And you wouldn't have to do that all at one time. You could be looking for things in your week as you're going about your regular routine. If you're wondering what an assignment looks like, here's one I have with those prompts. So an animal is this rabbit right here in the middle. Text in a foreign language is this piece of French text up top. I have a little tiny piece of handwriting over here. The postage stamp is pretty straightforward. It's actually printed on a postcard that is at the base. And something round I don't have. This is oval. If the prompt was something oval, that would definitely count. But since I don't have something round, the bonus is a label, and I do have that red label at the base. You can, of course, add more things if you want. In the label, I put a little bit of rubber stamping. So it's all depending on if you feel it needs an additional embellishment. Now, if you want somewhere to start, I put together a free download with the first 4 assignments so that you can start hunting right now at your own pace. No pressure to keep up with a weekly schedule. I'll put the link in the description below. Here's the one honest trade-off with these assignments. Some people love the structure and some people feel a little boxed in by it. Like, I don't want to be told what to look for. I want more choices. And that's totally fair. If that's you, the next option might fit better. My second suggestion for staying creative when life gets busy is 5 minutes at a time. The second option is a different problem. Not, I don't know what to make, but I don't have any stretch of time at all. Maybe you get 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, scattered across a chaotic day. That's still enough. I learned this out of necessity when my kids were small. I couldn't devote more than short bursts of time to art before parenting duties called me away. So I had to figure out how to actually make progress in 5-minute increments. And it turns out the collage is uniquely built for this. Here's why. Because there's no setup and no teardown. You don't need to prep a canvas or mix a palette. You don't have paint drying out while you're gone. The only thing you have to remember when you stop is to put the cap back on your glue stick. You can start, get pulled away mid-thought, and then come back an hour or a day later and pick up exactly where you left off. Nothing dries out, nothing is ruined by the interruption. But here's the part that actually makes this work, and it's the part that most people skip. You need a narrow scope, decided in advance. If you sit down with 5 minutes and no plan, you'll spend all 5 minutes deciding what to do and never actually do it. So before you ever sit down, have 2 or 3 ideas saved. A picture that you pinned or something that you liked on Instagram. 2 or 3 ideas and stop there, because too many options and you will just procrastinate. Of those, pick one, and that's your project. The other part that's kind of important is to have a spot that's ready and waiting for you. This doesn't need to be a studio. It could be a small tray or even a baking tray. Something where you can lay your project down on and then pick it up and move it away, set it down so that nobody touches it. And then if and when you have a free 5 minutes that shows up unexpectedly, you're not walking into a messy desk trying to remember where everything is. You just pick the tray back up and get going again. And here's one more thing worth saying out loud. Pick a project you can actually finish. Not something with high emotional stakes, not something that needs hours of focus. Pick something simple and low pressure, something that's okay to mess up. The goal right now, when you don't have a lot of time, isn't to make a masterpiece. It's to keep your creativity alive so it's still there when life opens back up. Now here's my example of a tray that I want to show you. I don't have one of those like dinner trays. That would be really nice. I have a whole bunch of baking sheets in various sizes, so I'm using one of those. And what I have in here is a project with a very narrow scope. This is my Mars passport and the theme is space. So I have all kinds of collages in a space theme, right? And so when I have time, I can come to this tray and bring it over to my space, wherever that is. And I've got a bunch of papers that are, of course, space themed. I've got my postage stamps, a nice selection of them here. And if I have a very short period of time, it's enough to get started and to just kind of, I don't know, lay things out. And if I get pulled away, all of a sudden I need to stop, then I can just leave things as they are, pick up my tray and put it out of the way so that kids, grandkids, dogs, whoever, whatever, don't touch it. And then unexpectedly, I have an additional 5 minutes here or there. I can come back to it and start again. Before we get to the last idea, if this is actually helpful, please hit the like button. Doing so helps this video find other people who are stuck in this same season as you are in now. My last suggestion for how to create when life gets busy is the Eclectic page glue book. This third option is for a different kind of stuck than the first two. It's not, I don't know what to make, and it's not, I have no time. It's, my brain has nothing to give a blank page. You're depleted. The idea of sitting down and deciding anything, even something small, feels like yet another task. This is exactly why I keep coming back to what I call the Eclectic page glue book. It's not a blank sketchbook. Every single page already has something on it, even before you open it. A piece of patterned paper, a postcard, an old banknote, graph paper, a page of foreign language text, 20 different papers bound together, and every one of them is already interesting on its own. So there's no blank page. You never have to face that particular kind of pressure because the first decision has already been made for you, weeks or months ago by past you. That matters more than it sounds like it should, because when you're running on empty, start with nothing is a real barrier. Start with something that's already a little bit beautiful is more doable. And because there's no blank page, there's also no order. You don't have to work from front to back like a normal book. You can open it anywhere, the middle, the end, wherever your eye lands. And work with whatever's already on that page. Even if you just have a minute or two, you can just literally open it, have a look, and possibly be inspired by what's already there. You also don't need anything special to fill the pages. This isn't about curated, beautiful papers. It's old receipts or ticket stubs or envelopes with addresses already on them. Anything with a little bit of interest counts, even if it's already been used for something else. You're starting from what you already have on hand, and even making the book itself doesn't require big blocks of time. It's a hole punch with some rings or a simple coil. So there's no prerequisite chore standing between you and starting. I don't think of this journal as something with rules to follow. It's made to be felt that you enjoy being in the moment of creating. And on days when you don't have a lot of energy to think with, that might be exactly what you need. So, no time, no long stretch of time, no bandwidth to start with a blank page. Pick the one that matches where you're at and just try it this week. And let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or advice on how you stay creative when life gets really busy. But before you go, is it really the lack of time that's stopping you from creating? Because for some of you, honestly, it isn't. And if that's you, if you've got time but you still can't seem to start, that's a different problem, and I've got a whole video devoted just to that. It's right here.